Welcome to our weekly roundup of key business developments in Sri Lanka. I'm Nishani Pigera. Let's look at the main stories for this week. Sri Lanka to grow 1.5% in 2024. Debt deal with commercial creditors likely by March. $100 million from the ADB. In our main story this week, according to the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Sri Lanka is forecast to grow by 1.5% in 2024 and 3.1% in 2025. It noted that the effects of higher interest rates will continue to weigh on investment and that weaker global demand will lead to slower export growth in the South Asian region. It also warned that a surge of inflation in the coming months cannot be ruled out due to potentially higher commodity prices and rising food inflation from adverse climate events. The global agency forecasted Sri Lanka's consumer prices to increase around 5.7% in 2024. According to Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, Governor of the Central Bank, good faith negotiations are in progress with commercial creditors to reach an in principle. He added that an agreement is expected to be reached within the next 2 months, which is a key development ahead of the IMF's second review of Sri Lanka's extended fund facility slated for June this year. In 2023, Sri Lanka entered into an in-principle agreement with China's Export-Import Bank and the Official Creditor Committee in late 2023, enabling the disbursement of $330 million from the IMF. Further on Tuesday, a delegation from the IMF arrived in Sri Lanka for a week-long stay. According to the Ministry of Finance, they will assess recent trends of the Sri Lankan economy as well as the progress of ongoing reforms. The delegation is also slated to meet the President, Prime Minister and Central Bank authorities. According to Minister of Finance, Shehan Semasinghe, the Asian Development Bank is to approve another $100 million to provide investment and working capital loans to small and medium enterprises. This is to be provided through local banks at single-digit interest rates. Under an earlier scheme in October 2023, loans were offered at 4 to 5% interest rates through state and private commercial banks to those engaged in agriculture, tourism, fishery and apparel industries. The Cabinet granted approval for the establishment of new investment zones in North, East and Southern provinces. Mankulam, the Paranthan Chemical Company premises, Kankasanture Cement Corporation premises, Iranvilla and Trincomalee were proposed as locations. Further, the plan also includes the expansion of the Bingiria and Hambantota zones. The Asian Development Bank is to provide technical assistance. Sri Lanka's prime lending rate continued to ease and fell below 12% for the first time in nearly 2 years. According to the central bank data, the lending rate for customers with high credit rating for short-term loans fell to 11.87%, while long-term loans fell to 12.13%. The regulatory authority expects an accelerated credit cycle in 2024, made possible by the softening rates. Meanwhile, credit card spending and its consumer base continued to narrow through October 2023. Outstanding credit card balance shrunk by 309 million rupees to 144 billion in October 2023, with active credit cards also down from a month earlier. In our weekly tourism update, tourist arrivals for the first 7 days of January exceeded 45,000. Average daily arrivals surged to 6,500. The primary source market is Russia, followed by India and Germany. The SLTDA is targeting 2.3 million visitors for the year 2024. Now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL 20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on 91 and 182-day maturities contracted. Bids amounting to 265 billion rupees were received, of which 100 billion rupees were accepted. The Sri Lankan rupee was steady against the dollar this week, with the central bank's indicative mid-spot rate ranging around 322 to 323 rupees. The Colombo Stock Exchange plans to introduce perpetual infrastructure and sukuk bonds within the first quarter of 2024. According to Dilshan Veerasekara, CSE chairman, this will be the first time that perpetual bonds will be listed in Sri Lanka. He added that infrastructure bonds will be mainly used by the government and that through Sukuk, the CSE is targeting Middle Eastern and Malaysian investors. And with that, we wind up for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for regular updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.